Now for the top of the first inning here from Durham Bulls Athletic Park as the Bulls take the defensive side of the field in their blue tops with burnt orange numerals, white pants, and that slick white front paneled cap that is so iconic here around these parts. And the starting lineups brought to you by Pepsi. We'll begin with the Norfolk Tides, 9 wins, 15 losses on the season. It begins with Mason McCoy, the shortstop, Malquine Canelo, the third baseman, and then Chance Sisco, who's back down after a stint with the Orioles this season, really struggling at the plate. The catcher hitting just 154 at the big league level this season. Orioles trying to get him right down here at AAA. Cleanup batter is Brett Cumberland, the designated hitter for the Tides. Tyler Nevin playing first base after making his major league debut for the Orioles. Seth Mejias-Breen in right field. Zach Jarrett bats seventh and playing center field. Ramon Urias playing second base and batting eighth. And then Willie Yan, the left fielder, rounding out the lineup at number 9. But on the bump for the Bulls, it is Dietrich Enns, the left-hander, formerly a Central Michigan Chippewa. As we get set to begin things, Joseph Odom, the catcher for the Durham Bulls this afternoon, makes a throw down to second base. Kevin Padlow plays there, entered the game as a pinch hitter, went 1 for 2, but that's where he'll be to the right side of the second base bag, defensively up the middle with Wander Franco at shortstop, of course, and then we'll just complete the lineup here. On the corners, Tristan Gray at third, Wyatt Matheson at first. And then out in the outfield, Vidal Brujan in left, Josh Lowe in center field, and Ryan Bolt in right. That's the defensive alignment for the Bulls. The right-handed batting, Mason McCoy digs in. 273 batter on the season. And the first pitch grooved in for strike one. McCoy 1 for 5 last night, drove in one of the 6 Tides runs. There's pitch number 2 on the way, and it's a fly ball over to the right side and out of play. Foul ball, 0-2 the count to McCoy.
And doing a good job of getting ahead, using his sinker, and that's going to be important. You can put the hitters on the defensive, and it's going to allow his breaking stuff to go to work.
Ends unusual for a starter here, working from the stretch from the get-go. The lefty kicks, deals the 0-2, and again it's fouled off to the right side in the air, nearly identically as it was the last pitch by McCoy, so he'll retain his 0-2 count. McCoy, a versatile infielder for this Tides team. Another 0-2. Lines that one out into left field down the line, and it's down for a hit. Extra bases for McCoy as he rounds first and will hold up at second base. Brujan gets it in, but that's a leadoff double for Mason McCoy to get the Tides going.
Two-strike hitting and too good of an 0-2 pitch from Dietrich Enns as this ball was up. McCoy did a good job to get on top of that, hammers it into the corner, and right out of the gate, the Tides have a runner in scoring position.
For Malquine Canelo. Mentioned to the third baseman, he was 2 for 5, 2 runs driven in last night. One of 5 players with multiple hits for the Tides an evening ago as his first pitch is blown by, swing and a miss, 93 miles per hour. Enns gets the fastball by him. So 0-1 the count to Canelo, who, aside from his 2 hits, struck out 3 times. Last night, aggressive swinging early on for the Tides as he fouls that one away. Another fastball sends it out of play, 0-2. Ends 1-0 on the season, 2.35 his ERA. Leans in for the sign and then rocks back. Checks the runner at second, delivers, and that one's a line drive over to right field, but it curls out of play, foul. And another 0-2 count. So Enns has been in the strike zone. Tides with some aggressive bats.
He's looking for that put-away pitch.
And what is that typically for Inns? If his stuff is
going to be a back foot
right.
slider. It's going to be a back foot slider and a change.
We'll see if he goes with that or one of those here. As he checks the runner at second. Now goes to the plate. Swung on off the hands. And another out of play, so another 0-2.
Oh, it's another fastball. And what a lot of pitchers do first time through the order is they'll try to stick with their sinker and keep that breaking stuff in their back pocket for second and third time through the order. You don't want to spend your entire hand and show everybody your hand in this first inning.
Another check of McCoy at second. Again, goes to the plate. That one off the hands. Popped up right back to the mound, and Canelo is retired as Inns spreads his arms out wide and then reels it in for out number one.
Not often you see the fly out to the pitcher. Normally an infielder is to call them off. Matheson tried to, but Inns wasn't having any of it as he was camped underneath that one. He makes the play.
So now comes Chance Sisco down from a stint with the big league Orioles. I mentioned 154 his batting average at the major league level, really struggling and looking to find or regain some confidence here against the Bulls and with the Tides. Sisco, 26 years old, born in Corona, California, watches the first pitch, a fastball taken, and 1-0.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention what a good job Enns did by keeping Canelo from getting that runner over to third with less than 2 outs. It was a good job to induce the pop-up and keep McCoy right at second base.
Enns set again, quickly goes back to the plate as Sisco offers and sprays it foul out of play to the left side. So a 1-1 count to Chance Sisco, the left-handed batter, who steps out of the box and casually digs back in on the very back side. With his left foot on the back line. A couple of circular waves of the bat in the direction of the pitcher Enns, who is set. Checks McCoy at second. Fires in a fastball, fouled right back into the netting, and the count goes to 1-2 strikes. So that's again Enns ahead in the count, but a lot of his strikes have been fouls to this point. Not getting pitches by batters. It's not necessarily indicative of what his success might or might not be.
Ties are doing a good job, though, with 2 strikes. You're just fighting off some tough pitches in an attempt to put something in play.
Here comes the 1-2. Hammers the glove of Odom behind the plate, and just off the mark makes it 2-2. Shrug of the shoulders. And now Enns coming set. Another check of McCoy, who has not strayed too far from the bag at second, and that one misses low and inside, so now a full count to Chance Sisco. Sisco, a second-round draft pick for the Orioles in 2013 out of Santiago High School. Here's the full count pitch. Taken, fastball, ball 4. And that puts runners at first and second with Sisco's walk.
Not the worst thing in the world, provided that Dietrich Enns can roll up that ground ball. Double play is now a factor.
And up comes the designated hitter, the switch hitting Brett Cumberland, who digs into the right-handed batter's box. .253 average on the season, 3 home runs, 8 driven in. Enns to the plate, forces a swing and a miss to get ahead 0-1.
Double play will be interesting, especially for Kevin Padlow, as he is shifted towards the shortstop side. We've got 3 infielders on the left side for the Bulls. I mean, any ground ball there, Padlow's got his work cut out for him getting to second base for the exchange.
And a lot of ground to cover as another swing and a miss forced that time on the changeup by Enns. So a quick 0-2, but A lot of ground to cover on the right side for Wyatt Matheson at first for Durham as well. So Inns doing a good job of getting ahead in counts. And now they're shifting back a little bit. Padlow back to the right side of second base. Inns with a check back to McCoy. Fires it in, and it's pulled almost perpendicularly foul and out of play.
It's hard to pull a ball that much.
It is. I mean, Cumberland had to get way ahead of the pitch.
He was way ahead of it, and the ball had to be headed towards him.
So an 0-2 count still with one away, runners at first and second as Dietrich Inns hesitates, checks the scoreboard, and then digs back in at the top of the hill. Looks in for the sign. Odom gives. Inns accepts. Check of the runner. Off-speed pitch down in the dirt. And a half swing. A check of it down to first base. And the call is that he did not go from Chris Marco, who's the official out there. Cody Oakes behind the plate, and over at third, Clint Vondrak.
It was a slider down, and it looked like Cumberland may have gone. Men in blue said no. When you're the team that doesn't benefit from that call, a common line yelled out of the dugout would be, if he would have hit that, it would have been a double. That doesn't endear you to the umpires, though.
The 1-2 from Inns. Swing and a miss at 93 miles per hour. He got Cumberland to chase, and he got out number 2. So 2 away. Runners at first and second now for the Bulls defensively. And up comes Tyler Nevin, the first baseman, who made his major league debut and got a knock in his major league debut for the Orioles over the weekend. Inns, just as he has been this entire side, from the stretch, comes set, checks McCoy, the lead runner at second, sends in a fastball, and it misses up and in, ball 1. The batter, Tyler Nevin. A lot of legacy guys on this team. The son of Phil Nevin, as he rips that off-speed pitch into right field, and it's down a line drive single. It drives in McCoy from second. It puts runners at first and second for the Tides as they lead it 1-0 here in the top of the first inning. And there's that pedigree coming to you, Scott.
It's a great approach by Nevin as he got a pitch that was away, but he stayed with it and hammers this through the shift. Doesn't matter when you hit a line drive where the infield is. That's just good, solid hitting. Another good approach from the Tides. We saw that last night. We're seeing it tonight. They pushed one across in the first.
So it's an RBI single for Nevin, and it brings up Seth Mejias Breen, the right fielder, batting .243, 2 home runs, 11 driven in for the Tides this season. First pitch fastball misses low and away, taken 1-0.
The key here is to minimize damage. The Tides took advantage last night. They scored 4 runs in the second inning. That crooked number was too much for the Bulls to overcome. But if you keep them to 1 run here, it's a moral victory in a sense.
Fastball registers strike 1. No swing from Mejias Breen. And an even count now with 2 away. Runners at first and second.
So much of pitching at the higher levels, AAA and the major leagues, is minimizing damage. You're going to face some good hitters. They're going to score some runs. But if you can keep it to 1 run, you give your team a chance.
There's a bouncer over to Franco at short. Forehand grab as he's running towards it. Plenty of time to tap his glove, shuffle his feet, and make the throw across the diamond to retire the side, but not before Norfolk picks up a run in the top of the first, and the Bulls up next. Athletic Park, as their lineup is presented by Pepsi, 17-8 on the season. They'll be led off by Vidal Brujan, the switch-hitting left fielder, .301 batting average, 7 home runs, 21 runs driven in. Hitting second is Wander Franco, who's boosted his batting average quite a bit, especially after his second 4-hit game of the season a night ago. .299 his mark as the shortstop for the Bulls. And then Kevin Padlow playing second base was 1 for 2 last night. Those are the 3 due up for the Bulls as Connor Wade's first pitch. It's Brujan out in front of it, 88 miles per hour. So 0-1 the count to Bruhan, who was 0 for 4 last night, left 4 base runners on. Watches the second pitch outside of the zone, 1-1.
That was a changeup. Dean Kramer had a very good one last night that gave the Bulls problems. I would expect the Norfolk pitchers to follow that template.
Bruhan shows bunt, gets it down, a high chopper down the third base line, and he beats it out. The throw from third from Malquin Canelo, not quite in time. About a step too late, as a matter of fact. And Bruhan is on to lead things off, just as Mason McCoy was on to lead things off for the Tides in the last side.
The more you see a Bruhan, the more you like him. And this is great instincts here. Is that's a perfectly placed bunt. He bunts it firmly into the ground, but it's a high hopper. And the only play was for Canelo to come in to try to make it. But as soon as it hit that grass, Bruhan was safe because he was out of the box and is extremely quick. And immediately the Bulls applying pressure back on the Tides.
Tides pitcher Connor Wade, the righty, now from the stretch. Spins the ball around behind his back, comes set. First pitch swinging, and Wander Franco lines one into right. That's a base knock. Bruhan will hold up at third, and they're just like that on the corners for the Bulls.
Bruhan had a jump. He was going to do the straight steal. He obviously has the green light going on his own, but Franco got a ball that he could handle down and in, hammers it through the right side. Great scoring opportunity for the Bulls in the first inning. Speed at the corners and the meat of the order coming up.
Kevin Padlow, the batter, following the Wander Franco base knock after a 4 for 5 evening yesterday for the number 1 prospect in all of affiliated baseball, picking up right where he left off. Wade's first pitch, fastball fired in. Franco takes off, slides, and the throw out into center field. So Bruhan comes across to score. Franco makes his way over to third and wreaks a little bit of havoc on the base paths to tie things up 1-1.
The Bulls tried to double steal last night. It didn't work out. They were doing it again right away on the first pitch because Vidal Bruhan took off as soon as he saw that ball going to second. Whether it goes into the outfield or not, he's coming home to score. Bulls steal a run there and put some pressure on Norfolk. Runner at third, nobody out, and that's going to force the Tides and Gary Kendall, the manager, to bring the infield in.
Wade with the 0-1. That one laced through the left side of the infield by Padlow. It's an RBI single as Franco is up easy at home to make it 2-1.
Always a great sign when you're the hitter at the plate. When the infield has to come in, you got runners on. It's so fun to hit, and if you get a good pitch to handle, you can hammer it through just as Padlow did. He takes advantage of the drawn-in infield, plates the second run for the Bulls with an RBI single.
And it brings up Josh Lowe, the left-handed hitting center fielder who had a woesome evening yesterday, to say the least. 0 for 5, 5 strikeouts on the night in the 1-run loss, but some good vibes heading into this AB. We'll see where he takes them, as that one is down the line, a screamer just past third base, and it's off the chalk, fair ball. He's up at second, and Padlow holds up at third. It's a double on the first pitch he sees for Josh Lowe, quickly breaking out of that slump.
A much welcomed hit for Josh Lowe as he hits this one off the end of the bat, and it hits directly on the paint line. They don't use chalk anymore. I was informed of that last year when I made that mistake. But the paint line. Credit to Cameron Brendel and his grounds crew staff. But the ball does bound around down near the bullpen. It's going to be an automatic double if that's the case. Umpires did not call it, but the same result. Man on second, and Josh Lowe. Padlow advances to third. Bulls still have nobody out, and they're swinging some hot bats.
And swinging them quickly. Bruhan's hit came on the third pitch. Franco's the first, Padlow's the second, and then Lowe there making good on the first pitch he saw. We'll see how Davey Gruyan does, the designated hitter. Steps into the right-handed batter's box. First pitch from Wade, watched as a fastball misses outside, 1-0.
I see the Bulls employing a strategy that I often try to employ. Do you know the best way to hit a Major League breaking ball or a changeup?
That's a great question for you, the former major leaguer.
Hit the fastball that comes before it.
I like that. Great strategy. That one misses low and away, and the count to Gruyan 2-0.
Well, the changeup did give the Bulls problems last night. They're not waiting around to get deep in a count to see one. They're jumping on the first fastball they see.
Open stance for Gruyan. First hitter's count I mean, I guess 0-0 counts just as well as a hitter's count. Fastball aired out to the right side, and that one tails out of play and foul. 2-1.
Now, this is a fastball count. Now, at AAA, not necessarily. That's where they get wily and try to throw you all these changeups and breaking stuff. But as a hitter, you're still looking one pitch, one spot, a fastball, usually middle in, about thigh high.
Grullon 0 for 1 last night as a pinch hitter. Breaking ball, waved at and missed as that one fooled him and evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Wade acting the part of the crafty AAA pitcher, throwing that slider on a 2-1 count, spotting it well, and gets the swing through.
Wade brings the ball with his right hand from behind him and into the glove. Fires in a breaking ball that time, and it bounces low and away, taken in a full count to Grullon. Easily the deepest count Connor Wade has seen so far at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Prior to this, it was Bruhan's 1-1 to lead things off. No outs, runners at second and third. Foul ball off the hands, dribbled down the third base line.
Nice job by Wade of throwing that sinker in on Grullon's hands. He did fight it off. Did the Bulls DH. And honestly, a ground ball to short scores a run right here. You hit anything up the middle on the ground, it's an RBI for Grullon.
Typical depth for the Tide's infield. That one a bouncer to the left side, and it's off the glove of Canelo, rolling out to the outskirts of the infield, and the runner is thrown out at third, as that was Josh Lowe trying to make his way from second. But right you are in that it scores a run and makes it 3-1. Padlow comes across to score, so resetting things. There was an error that allows Grullon to reach first, but then Lowe was tossed out as he was trying to advance from second to third on the play for out number 1, as Wyatt Matheson looks at the first pitch, or swings away at it, rather, fouling it off of the roof above us down the first base line. 0-1. Matheson, the Bulls' first baseman this evening, .227 average on the year. Driven in a couple of runs, hard grounder over to the left side. Canelo backhanded stab, tossed to second, is in time, and to first not quite, as Matheson runs out the double play.
I think Nevin forgot how many outs there were. I think he was running off the field once they saw that he saw the exchange was made at second, and he wasn't in position to catch the ball coming across on the double play. That works to the Bulls' benefit.
Leaves a runner on, 2 away. For Ryan Bolt, tied for the team lead in batting average at .301, and the lefty torques but does not go around at the first pitch he sees, as it's up and away from the zone. 1-0. Wade gets him on the off speed, swing way ahead of it.
The changeup.
And Bolt now 1-1 in the count, following the swing and miss. Fastball dribbled down the first base line. Nevin scoops it up and applies the tag, all in the same motion there for the third and final out of the bottom of the second inning. But the Bulls plate a few and lead it 3-1 through 1. Enjoy a Brew Diamond IPA from Brewprint Brewing Company, Apex's first brewery. The bases are loaded with hops in this delicious, refreshing IPA. Plan for a great time. Grab a Brewprint. Darren Vaught, Scott Pose with you, top of the second inning, as it's 3-1 Durham Bulls with the advantage through one frame. A lot of hits, a lot of base runners moving station to station, as Dietrich Enns fires in a first pitch strike to the batter, Zach Jarrett of the Tide. 7-8-9 due up in this side. Jarrett, the center fielder, .323 on the season. cuts and misses at the second offering, 85 miles per hour. That little hitch at the end of it causes the 0-2. Jarrett, Ramon Urias, and Willie Yan do up this side. Jarrett lines a screamer over to second base, but it is squeezed after a couple of steps to his left by Kevin Padlow, the line drive out number one.
A couple things happening on this play. Zach Jarrett's hit the ball well early in this series. He continues to do so. He squared that one up. It was a pitch away. He hits it on the nose, but great positioning by Padlow to make the play.
And out comes Ramon Urias, the batter for the Tides, his first plate appearance. As Inns hums in a fastball, 92 on the gun, called strike one. Urias, 205 average on the season. Hacks and misses, and another quick 0-2 count for Dietrich Inns with one away. Two for three with a run driven in yesterday for Ramon Urias. The 0-2 taken as he shuffles his lower body out of the way inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Inns working quickly. Comes set. Another off speed and a swing, and just barely nicked it back into the glove of Odom, the catcher for the Bulls, and out. So Urias will see another pitch. Urias, despite 2 hits yesterday, moved down from the 6th spot in the lineup to 8th, as he is tonight, and fouls back a fastball into the netting, so he'll see yet another 1-2 pitch. Bulls with the loss last night. Consecutive games lost for the first time in about 3 weeks. Trying to bounce back from that. Inns comes set after a quick step off, and another foul ball. That time sent to the right of home plate and into the netting. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes to Urias. Inns kicks his knee up to his glove, fires, and another foul ball to the right and out of play. And Urias will hang in there to see a 7th pitch.
Scrappy at bats from the Tides. They're really making ends work. His pitch count already up to 35 here in the 2nd inning.
Inns looks in for the sign. Brings ball and glove, belt high that time. Contact made, bouncer over to third base. Plenty of time to receive backhanded and to make the toss over to first for the out by Tristan Gray, who makes the play defensively, and there are 2 away. And this obviously strategic for the Tides from top to bottom of their lineup. They're free swingers so far from what we've seen in this series. It worked to their advantage early in last night's game with some base runners and a couple tic-tacky runs as the first pitch misses low and away to Willie Yan.
Yeah, but they have an old school approach. When they get 2 strikes, I've seen a number of them choke up significantly and put the ball in play. Something to be said for that.
In set, fires. That one sent up into the air, into right, near the line. Checking down out of play was Ryan Bolt, scampering toward it as it dropped into the stands. Checking his feet, the foul line, the bullpen, lot going on there. So a 1 ball, 1 strike count to Willie Yan, who was 2 for 4 with a run driven in last night in the 6-5 win for the Tides. Ends the delivery, overhands it, and fires in, taken for strike one. Or strike two, rather. Excuse me. 1-2 the count. '40th pitch on the way for Dietrich Enns as he rears back, heaves, and it's fouled back out of play by Jan. Jan, the left fielder, with the only 2-out RBI for Norfolk of their 6 runs yesterday. Off speed, swung on, and just barely got a piece of it as it drops out of Joseph Odom's glove again.
Odom apologizes. He'll tell you he should have had it, and he was kicking himself, signaled out to Enns, saying, hey, my fault. Let's get him here.
So Enns now with another 1-2, hoping to retire the side with nobody on. And 2 away. Sails that one over top and into the backstop.
Just a bit high.
To even the count at 2-2. Did he hit the bull? I'm new here.
He did not hit the bull.
I don't know.
Wooly was safe, tucked away, but it did hit the bricks behind.
Given where we are and the context of the team and the movie Bull Durham, you never know if that's intentional or not.
Well, that's right. He's just changing the hitter's eye level. That's all Dietrich Enns was doing.
Here's the 2-2 from Enns off the hands. Dribbler over to third. Scooped up off the heel of the glove by Gray and on the run. Makes the toss over to first for the third and final out to retire the side. Bottom second on the other side. Bulls ahead 3-1. Exclusive caterer for American Tobacco Campus's Bay 7 Catering Hall. First pitch in from Connor Wade. This is low and in. 1-0 the count to Tristan Gray, the third baseman. Made a couple of nice plays defensively just the last frame. Second misses as well. No swing. 2-0. And a hitter's count for Gray, the left-handed batter who's hitting .286 on the season. There's a strike for Wade. Again, working quickly. You alluded to it. He for the Tides and then Enns for the Bulls. They waste no time up there on the rubber. Here's Wade again from the windup. Forces a swing and a miss. Off-speed pitch, 80 miles per hour. Got Gray way ahead of it.
A straight changeup. So effective with the left-handed hitter at the plate, right-hander on the mound. You can keep that hitter off the fastball with a good straight change. That's exactly what Wade did.
Wade winds, sends up his left knee, and hurls toward the plate, missing that time for ball 3. So a full count here to Tristan Gray. Joseph Odom, the catcher, the on-deck batter, rounds out the order for the Bulls. That one a drive to deep right center field, back to the track, and just shy of the track. The catch is made by Zach Jarrett for out number 1, but an awful loud out.
Full count. Gray got the fastball. Put a charge into it, but it's still night tonight. Ball not carrying to center. Relatively easy play for Jarrett in center field.
Puts one away with nobody on. Bottom of the second inning, and the 9-hole hitter for the Bulls, Joseph Odom. Couple of home runs, 7 driven in on the season as he watches the first pitch fastball for strike 1. Odom, one of a few catchers rotated by manager Brady Williams and this Bulls coaching staff within the lineup. As Wade with a miss, 1-1 the count. Hard line drive on the next pitch out into center field, and it drops for a single with one away. Joseph Odom aboard.
Odom gets on top of a high fastball, does a good job to shoot this into right field, and right-handers typically like that ball up. Odom does as he gets the right hand right to the ball. He's rewarded with that base hit, 1 out, and it turns the order over for the Bulls.
Back to the top of the order, and in doing so, you bring up one of the most dangerous hitters in all of AAA baseball, Vidal Brujan. First pitch swinging, chopper over to first. Nevin grabs it, looks down at second, elects not to throw, and steps on first for the easy out. So Bruhan does a job, I suppose, in pulling the ground ball to the right side of the infield and advances Odom to second with 2 away.
That's pretty good baseball play, and here's why. You've got Odom on in front of Bruhan, who can fly. You can try to get that, force down at second, but you leave a base. Bruhan at first base, where he could easily steal second and third. You play the odds there.
Connor Wade working from the stretch, comes set, checks Odom at second, sends in the first pitch to Wander Franco, and it misses, taken ball 1.
Yes, there's still a chance, a runner in scoring position at second base for one of the hottest Bulls hitters, but nonetheless, I understand the play.
Wade sends it in, missing low and in, so Franco with the count of 2-0. And I understand your point because Odom, not as speedy a runner as Bruhan by a lot. As your lead runner, you sacrifice one station, right? The runner, rather than being at first, is at second, but it's not as good a base runner. Rather than having the lead base runner as Wander Franco in case you don't get 2. Is that one taken for a strike by Franco, or Bruhan, excuse me. The other option there is a base runner as Franco digs back into the left-handed batter's box. 2-1 with 2 away and a runner at second base. Wade checks, goes to the plate. Franco rolls over on it, and it's Nevins again. He scoops it up right in front of the bag, takes one step behind him on to first base, and it retires Wander Franco and strands a runner at second for the Bulls, but they still lead it 3-1 as we move to the third. Top of the third, top of the order for the Norfolk Tides as Durham leads Norfolk 3-1. And Dietrich Enns will once again face Mason McCoy, the leadoff batter and shortstop for the Tides. McCoy led things off in the top of the first inning with a double and then came around to score the lone Tides run his first time up as Enns' first pitch is flayed over to the right side and into the Durham Bulls bullpen, foul. An 0-1 count. McCoy's double back in the first came on an 0-2 count, which seems like the count at which Dietrich Enns has lived so far in this contest. Kicks and fires. There's contact again from McCoy. Line drive out to left field, but Bruhan makes his way into the gap and casually with the forehand grab for out number 1.
Bruhan with great speed, a good route right to the ball. Ball hangs up enough, and he easily makes the play. It's a good and quick put away for Enns, who has had trouble doing so early and keeps that pitch count a little more manageable.
Just 2 pitches needed to retire Mason McCoy, and up comes Malkeen Canelo, who shows bunt, pulls away, but the fastball registers strike 1 as it's taken 0-1. Canelo with a pop-up right back to the mound, fielded by Enns rather than one of his infielders his first time up. Enns finds the strike zone with the off-speed, 85 miles per hour, no offering at it by Canelo, and it's 0-2. And shrugs his shoulders, comes set, delivers to the plate, misses low, so now 1 ball, 2 strikes the count to Malkeen Canelo. Chance Cisco in the on-deck circle, also due up this side. Big swing and a miss on the fastball, 93 miles per hour, and it's strike 3 for out number 2. Second K so far for Dietrich Enns.
Elevated fastball from Enns. This time it gets by Canelo, set up by some breaking stuff, and seeing that changeup adds a little bit to the fastball. This is an effective pitch that tied up Canelo.
Well, now digs in Chance Cisco, who walked on a full count his first time up. Really working Enns. Thinks about swinging at the first pitch and then buckles at the knees and falls backward as he takes ball 1. Fastball dialed up 94 miles per hour. That's as high as we've seen ends on the stadium gun so far in this one, but it misses just off the mark, 2-0.
He's getting loose, isn't he?
Seems that way. From the stretch with nobody on again. This time misses high with the off speed. And the first 3-0 count for Dietrich Enns here to Chance Sisco, who he's already walked once. 2 away, nobody on. Enns delivers, and another miss up at the shoulders of Sisco, and it's ball 4. Sisco walks for the second time tonight and puts a runner on for the Tides with 2 away.
Fans scurrying for cover as the light rain starts to fall.
As mentioned, we had some rather heavy rain prior to first pitch this evening, but the grounds crew here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park, which always does a fantastic job, anticipated the rain, got the field covered, and able to start on time as the first pitch fastball taken for strike 1 by Brett Cumberland. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Enns set, quickly checks over at first, sends in a fastball, and that one a grounder down the third base line that rolls foul. So another 0-2 count and a chance to get out of the side for Dietrich Enns as he steps off the back of the rubber, quickly readjusts himself, and then retakes that same position. Base runners or not, he's been using it. Working from the stretch so far this evening. Off speed, 76 miles per hour, misses outside, taken, and it's 1-2. Quick grab, batting up and down off of his throwing hand of the rosin bag, and on for the 2-strike pitch. That time the off speed got Cumberland way ahead of it, and it's strike 3, a swing and a miss. The third strikeout for Enns, and it retires the side, leaving a runner at first. Bottom of the third on the way. Bulls ahead 3-1. Aaron Vaught, Scott Pose with you. Brian Bliss producing this edition of Durham Bulls Baseball. As the 3-4-5 batters due up, Kevin Padlow, Josh Lowe, Davey Gruyan. Padlow with an RBI single his last time up. Waves at the first pitch offered by Connor Wade, the Tide starter, into his third inning of work, and fouls it away to the right side, out of play, 0-1. Connor Wade, past those bumps in the first inning, has looked pretty good so far for the Tides. Product of the University of Arizona, part of that College World Series National Championship team in 2012. Miss with the off speed there, 1-1. Wade winds and delivers pitch number 3, which misses inside. Padlow with a half swing, if you could call it that. The check over to first says he didn't go, 2-1. That one dribbled over to the right side. Nevin takes a shuffle over to his right, an underhand toss to Wade, who was covering at first, and that retires Padlow for out number 1. That brings up Josh Lowe. Connor Wade, I mentioned that team at Arizona, Scott. How about this for some Bulls knowledge as the fill-in? You'll appreciate this. A Wildcats teammate on that squad with one Johnny Field.
How about that?
Former Durham Bulls fan favorite, Johnny Field.
That's impressive.
First pitch, the fastball misses up above the letters. 1-0 the count to Josh Lowe. Also on that team, Mahias Bream, the right fielder, currently for the Tides. Another fastball, top shelf. Another no swing from Lowe, in the count 2-0. Another member of that Arizona team, I'm curious if you saw this play the other day. He was up in the bigs for the Minnesota Twins, playing in the outfield. Rob Refsnyder. As Lowe waves at that one, a breaking ball just below the zone, baits him for strike 1.
I did not see the play, but I've seen Rob Refsnyder come through the DBAP a few times.
Yeah, that as well. Wade kicks, fires, Lowe leaves it up top. Again, the fastball misses. 3 balls and 1 strike. So this play, he was chasing, and now he's usually an infielder, chasing a fly ball that exited the yard and ran face first into the wall. Off-speed pitch. Lowe swings and misses in a full count now.
Walls typically don't move, in my experience.
Well, that's the luxury of the warning track. Foul ball as Lowe will keep a 3-2 count with 1 away and nobody on.
The warning track did not yell long enough, or loud enough, excuse me.
That's what it was. It wasn't physically long enough. It didn't scream enough. Fastball misses up and away, and Lowe gets ball 4, reaches base for the 2nd time today following the double. He is rectifying, or doing what he can to rectify, an 0 for 5 strikeout day a night ago. Puts a runner on with 1 away. Davey Grullon, the designated hitter, now digs in. Now, I know a lot of your time in the bigs, at least, was spent as a designated hitter. But in the outfield, do you have any egregious plays like that? That maybe, towing the line of embarrassing? I'm not saying you were Jose Canseco and you bounced one off your head over the wall.
In the minor leagues, I ran across the field and a ball hit my glove and I just flat out dropped it. That was embarrassing enough. You feel like the loneliest man in the world and you let your pitcher down. But other than that, no. I can't say that I have. I've seen some fun stuff where if a guy ran into the wall like that, the next day during BP, somebody will go out and draw in tape like the
That's what they did with
line.
Ref Snyder.
Yeah, the police line.
And I tell you, Scott, it was the most detailed tape job I'd ever seen.
Did they have the number on it, too?
They had the number, the lines in between his fingers on his glove. It was impressive. Grullon watches one and fouls one away with Lowe taking off. So 0-2, Lowe still the base runner at first and scoots out of the way of the pitch inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Grullon. They might have had some detailed hair on there for Ref Snyder as well. I mean, whoever did that, I don't know who typically, sometimes I guess players do it. Other times it might be someone like a grounds crew or equipment manager.
No, it'll be another player. Another player would have done that.
Wade kicks and fires the off-speed pitch, and a swing and a miss will send Grullon back to the dugout and put 2 outs on the board, leaving Lowe as the base runner at first base and bringing up Wyatt Matheson, who's 0 for 1 so far. Reached on a fielder's choice up the middle. First strikeout of the day for Connor Wade, who comes set, throws over to first, but Lowe shuffles his feet back to the bag in plenty of time. Matheson with the open stance. Watches the pitch from Wade, misses inside, 2-0. Excuse me, 1-0. No pitch the first time as he went over to first. Connor Wade now at 50 pitches. Lowe takes off for second. The fastball taken for a strike, and diving head first into second base safely is Lowe with the stolen bag.
It's a good aggressive play with 2 outs. Get into scoring position, make something happen. Lowe got a good jump. Cisco tries to get the ball down there, but not in time to head for a slide. Bulls have a scoring opportunity.
Home plate umpire Cody Oakes retrieving some game balls from the Bulls dugout before we resume play, and a runner in scoring position here for Wyatt Matheson. Lifts that one deep to left field, up and over the monster. That is a 2-run home run, the first of the season for Wyatt Matheson, and it makes it 5-1 Bulls.
This was a no-doubter. He hits a mistake a long way, does Matheson.
His first of the season. RBIs numbers 3 and 4 on the year. And it offers some padding for the Bulls, now ahead by 4 here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Well, that was a hanging slider in the middle of the plate.
Wade trying to bounce back with a first pitch fastball. Delivered for strike one against Ryan Bolt. Seventh batter in the order for the Bulls. Watches the fastball high, 1-1. Rounded out to first. His first time up. Infield playing back. Big hack and a miss by Bolt on the off-speed pitch. 2 strikes against him now. 2 away, nobody on. Wade going from the windup here. Sends in the pitch, and it's sprayed high into the air out in the shallow left field. Racing in to make the grab is Willie Yan, and he squeezes it for the third and final out, but not before a Wyatt Matheson home run does some damage. 2 more tacked on for the Bulls. 5-1. They lead it, moving to the fourth. But that sausage is always the best thing you can put on a bun. So enjoy some sausage, Bulls fans, and make sure it's Johnsonville. Top of the fourth inning. Dietrich Enns continues his fine work on the mound for the Bulls as he will face, beginning with Tyler Nevin, the Tide's order here in the fourth inning. Enns set. Nevin 1 for 1 so far on the day. Watches the first pitch miss for ball 1, 1-0. Nevin 1 for 1 with a single back in the first inning. Son of former big leaguer Phil Nevin. Cuts and sends it straight back into the backstop. The foul ball makes it 1-1. Phil Nevin, the long time, I guess he played the majority of his career with the San Diego Padres, is how most would associate Nevin. Corner infielder.
A very good one.
Now the third base coach for the New York Yankees. Enns sends that one high of the zone. 2 balls, 1 strike. Seth Mejia-Spreen and Zach Jarrett also due up this side for Norfolk. Trailing by 4. Big swing and a miss on the 91-mile-per-hour heater. And Nevin's count goes even, 2-2. Ends with pitch number 62 here. The fastball fouled to the right side and out of play, and Nevin will hang in there with 2-2. Singled on the first pitch he saw his last time up. So an extended plate appearance here, comparatively speaking. Enns with nobody on, comes set, misses inside and perhaps a little low there to create a full count for himself. 3 balls, 2 strikes. No outs, nobody on, working quickly. Enns goes back to the plate, misses low and away. Nevin takes and reaches base for the second time today to lead off with a walk.
After your team scores, pitchers always love to keep track of that shutdown inning, and a leadoff walk can throw havoc into those plans.
Puts a runner on for Seth Mejia-Spreen. Grounded out to Wander Franco at shortstop his last time up. Checks his swing. Ooh, that looked to me like he broke his wrist, but the check over to first says he did not go on the ball in the dirt. 1-0. He saw 2 pitches his last time up. Here's his second this time around from Enns, and he sends that one out into the air, into right. Running in to make the grab successfully is Ryan Bolt, who glides underneath it no problem and retires Mejia-Spreen.
That's a good bounce back. It also keeps the runner at first. Double plays in order for Dietrich Enns.
And the batter, Zach Jarrett, who, as you aptly described, is really hitting the baseball well in this series through a game and change so far, as Enns' first pitch drilled into the ground to shortstop Franco. executes the out at second, but just a slow developing ground ball, so Jarrett able to run it out without a throw at first, 2 away.
Good job by Franco to get to this ball. It's a quick flip to Padlo at second, but the timing was disrupted. By the time that Nevin was sliding down, he was on top of Padlo. He elects not to throw, which is the wise play. How many times do you see an infielder rush that? Ball ends up in the stands, runners in scoring position. Discretion is the better part of valor in this instance.
Ends with the first pitch to Ramon Urias, and it skips underneath the glove of Odom, allowing the base runner to advance to second. So Zach Jarrett moves into scoring position for Urias.
That ball gets away, and now Enns is signaling into Odom. Hey, there's a runner at second. Signs are going to move up. Going to change the indicator and all that fun stuff.
Enns leans in for those newly shifted signs. Checks back the runner at Jarrett. Fastball up and in, misses. And the count moves to 2-0. Back to the rosin bag. Enns goes. Swats it back down at the base of the mound and reassumes the rubber. Set. Looking back at Jarrett at second. Grooves in 90 miles per hour. A swing and a miss from Urias for strike 1. 2 away, runner at second base in this top of the 4th inning. Bulls ahead 5-1. Enns sends in a fastball, misses high, 3 balls, 1 strike as he's now into the 70s. That was pitch number 71.
Yep, still no action in the pen. Enns being extended. And go get the opportunity to pitch through this.
Enns receives his sign from Odom, kicks and drives the ball toward the plate, but that one another fastball, another high miss, and ball 4. Urias advances to first. So now with 2 away, you've got to force it every bag with runners at first and second, with the 9-hole batter Willie Yan coming up for the Norfolk Tides.
Would not be surprised to see, and am seeing, a visit from Rick Knapp to calm his left-hander down and remind him of possible mechanical adjustments so he can get that ball back down in the zone.
You called this pretty well with Dean Kramer yesterday. You said after his visit to the mound, the adjustment that he needed to make was, well, hey, the changeup was working the first time through the order. Why aren't you throwing it here? And then he started throwing more changeups. He was more effective. Do you have any kind of inclination as to what Enns is getting here?
Well, Enns is losing his concentration and drifting just a bit on the mound, which means his arm isn't catching up, which causes that ball to go up. So this is the pitching version of telling a hitter to stay back. They're going to tell Enns, stay back, get on that downward plane, get a ball in the zone, and get a ground ball. We'll get out of this.
Awfully comforting, again, to know you've got some savvy fielders in the infield, including Wander Franco, who's made some impressive plays, but nonchalantly impressive plays already in this series over at shortstop since making the move from third with the call-up of Taylor Walls.
Well, as a visitor, though, it is important for you to know that not every visit to the mound at the DBAP is talking about candlesticks and trying to shake curses.
Big cut from Willie Yan, misses for strike 1. So an 0-1 count and a good start for Enns. To my knowledge, no current Bulls players wanting to sacrifice a live chicken. Fastball drilled back up the middle, and that's off the bottom of Franco's glove and into center field. The throw comes in and not in time. Sliding home safely is Jarrett. And the runners move to second and third following the missed target at home plate. So a run scores for Norfolk on the gaff up the middle.
And runners will advance on another error. 2 errors on the play. One will be on Wander Franco for not fielding this ground ball cleanly. He's frustrated with himself. And then Josh Lowe comes in and throws home, but it gets past Odom, bounces around on the bricks. It allows the runners to advance 90 feet. This is going to bring out Brady Williams.
So runners at second and third. The lead runner for the Tides, Ramon Urias. And then Willie Jan again reached on the error by Franco, and then after the throw from Lowe got behind home plate, reaches second base. And it'll be a pitching change, a new arm for the Bulls. We'll take a quick pause. 2 away, 2 on for the Tides here in the top of the 4th inning. McCoy 1 for 2, a double to lead the game off in the first inning, and he came around to score their first run for the Tides. Another offering from Mazza, and it misses high, 2-0. Mazza, the righty, holding the ball in his throwing hand. Down at his right side at his waist as he looks in for the sign. Glove curled up to his left shoulder before he comes set. Kicks, drives the pitch off speed, got McCoy ahead on it, and the swing and miss makes it 2-1.
That slider is a pretty good pitch, and Mazza throws it, gets McCoy to offer at it in a fastball count.
Mazza set, 2 balls and 1 strike. The pitch to McCoy again got him ahead of it. Another swing and miss, 2-2. Mazza making his 7th appearance of the season for the Bulls with the 2-2 here and a chance to get out of the jam. Fires to the plate. That one's in the dirt. Good stop by Odom to keep the runners where they are at second and third.
Nice job by Odom to keep that ball in front, deaden the ball, and with a runner at third, it's such an advantage to have a catcher that can do that, where it allows you to throw your breaking stuff in any count.
Mazza's set. Quick check of the runners. Again, the off speed, and again, McCoy swinging and a missing. Strike 3. So Chris Mazza gets the Bulls out of the jam, but they surrender 1 in the top of the 4th. 5-2. They lead it as we enter the bottom of the frame. 8-9-1 batters due up for the Bulls here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Darren Vaughn, Scott Pose with you from Durham Bulls Athletic Park. Bulls ahead 5-2 through 3.5. And Tristan Gray to the plate to face Tides pitcher Connor Wade entering his 4th inning of work. First pitch taken, and Gray with a 1-0 count. 0 for 1 so far. Gray with a fly ball to center field, but that one was deep as the changeup misses that time. 2-0. Wade winds, sends in, and fastball misses up and away. 3 balls and no strikes to begin this 4th inning for Connor Wade against Tristan Gray. We'll try to battle back. Fastball taken again. 4 pitches, 4 balls, and Gray walks to put the leadoff man on for the Bulls.
It was a nice job by Gray to lay off some tough off-speed pitches. He took that changeup early, and then that set the at-bat off on the right foot for the third baseman as he works the 4-pitch walk, and I believe that's going to end the night for Connor Wade.
It appears that that will be the case. So we'll have a pitching change for the Tides as Connor Wade goes 1 batter into his 4th inning of work and is yanked and replaced for Norfolk. It'll be a new pitcher for the Tides with a runner on first, nobody on, and Joseph Odom, the batter for the Bulls, when we return. Darren Vaught, Scott Pose back with you as the Bulls ahead 5-2 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Connor Wade, who started the contest pitching for the Tides, faced one batter, walked Tristan Gray on 4 pitches, and now we have, well, a fun situation. Scott, an unidentified player donning the jersey number 4 for the Tides, which is not listed on their roster that we have been given.
Now, this happens a lot, especially when the visiting player forgets their jersey at home and has to put on another number. That's a possibility.
What worries me is that in the booth across from us is longtime Norfolk Tides radio broadcaster Pete Michaud, and he was having a hard time identifying this player. So
I've always wondered where the player to be named played. We found him.
we
have found him.
It's always been theoretical to this point, but now we have the actual player to be named later facing Joseph Odom with a runner on and no outs in the bottom of the 4th inning. Odom 1 for 1, watches the first pitch cross on the outer edge of the plate, called strike 1.
It's something that I've never heard before. The new pitcher for the Norfolk Tides is unidentified.
He's a righty. Little slide step toward the plate as he heaves it in and misses up and in. So 1-1 now, the count to Odom. Comes set, checks the runner at first. Player to be named later, sends it in, and it's fouled away out of play by Odom.
He's been in a lot of trades.
Yeah, whomever it is, he's ahead in the count. So he's got that going for him. The mystery pitcher comes set, trying to throw off the timing of the base runner, Gray. A toss over to first, unsuccessful. Gray dives back safely and gets his right hand back to the bag. The unidentified pitcher deals a breaking ball turned on by Odom, and it rolls into the Tides dugout, foul for another 1-2. Odom, the 9-hole batter for the Bulls, so Vidal Brujan awaits in the on-deck circle. Wander Franco in the hold. Pitcher set, fires to the plate. Odom sends it sky high into the right of the field of play as it rattles the roof over top of us here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. So another foul ball, another 1-2 pitch on the way from this pitcher whom we do not know. The righty comes set over the shoulder, checks the runner. Sends in a pitch, but it misses low. Odom takes 2-2.
We are getting an educated guess from Pete next door, who says this is Travis Lakins.
Travis Lakins, who is listed on our official roster as number 59. Sends in the 2-2. Odom drives it opposite field, but it curls foul and out of play. So he will retain his count of 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Lakins pitched at Ohio State. I had the pleasure of seeing him throw a few times in my time at doing Big Ten games.
Pitch number 8 will come shortly as he stands over the rubber, opens up to lean in for the sign. This time deals a breaking ball, and it misses low and away. Good take by Odom and a full count.
In fact, if this is Lakins, last weekend he was pitching for the Orioles against the White Sox. And it would explain the jersey mix-up as he has just gotten here.
That would have been my next guess, was somebody who's been up and down frequently and or recently. It's a full count to Odom. The pitch low and outside baits him for a swing and a miss. And if it is Lakins, that's a good start with the strikeout of Joseph Odom to put 1 out on the board with 1 runner on.
It's going to get more fun now with the dynamic duo at the top of the order. Speed with Brujan and then Wander Franco. It's a good slider, though, that did get Odom to swing right over the top on the TV side of things.
Bruhan in the left-handed batter's box. A long stride toward the pitch and watches it cross the plate for strike one. Bruhan 1 for 2, a bunt single his first time up in the bottom of the first inning. And a ground ball over to first base, which was handled by Tyler Nevin himself. That line drive skips off the front of the mound and sails into the outfield. Bruhan's got himself a single, and it advances Gray all the way over to third. Runners on the corners with one away for Wander Franco due up.
So much to say for putting the ball in play. Bruhan hits this one extremely hard through the middle. It does sneak through. Now runners at first and third with a pretty big prospect at the plate.
Pretty big, the biggest. The switch hitting Wander Franco, who had a chance to win it late in the bottom of the ninth inning a night ago with the Bulls trailing by 3 and the bases loaded. He did not hit his second what would have been his second grand slam of the season, but he did drive a single through the infield that drove in 2 and drew it within 1, where it ended up at 6-5 as a throw over to Bruhan. Not quite in time. He dives back head first. Franco 1 for 2 with a single and a ground out to first, much like Bruhan to this point. Miss of the strike zone, 1-0, and I'm getting confirmation as well that it is Travis Lakins Sr., the pitcher for the Tide. Big cut and a miss at 89 miles per hour by Franco for strike one. That evens it up. So we can now comfortably, I think, Scott, say that Lakins is the pitcher. And we will do so because there are only so many ways to say, hey, I don't know who that is.
For a while, I was excited. I finally got to see the player to be named. I heard about him a lot in all of the trades, but yeah.
The most traded player
ever
in baseball history, and we got to watch him pitch. What a treat. What a pleasure. Quick throw over to first, and another pitch missing high and away to Franco. So 2 balls, 1 strike to the Bulls shortstop. Lakins set, looking over his left shoulder at Bruhan at first. Goes to the plate. Off speed, swung on and missed, though it dropped below the strike zone. Franco's count goes to 2-2.
Franco was sitting on a fastball. He got it and swung at it because he was looking for it. Been there many times as a hitter. It's frustrating because you get excited. You knew what the pitch was, but you forgot about the strike zone.
He digs back in. Lakins this time with a move over to first, and Bruhan scampers back to the bag up on his feet.
As a base stealer like Bruhan, that tells me that Lakins wants to throw a breaking ball, so he's trying to keep me close. I would be a little antsy to go based on that information.
He's had a hard secondary lead a couple of times so far, but has not taken off yet. There's that secondary lead again, and he takes off at the pow of the ball in the mitt. No throw to second. Bruhan steals, and it puts a runner in scoring position as Franco's count goes full at 3-2.
A guy that can fly does the delayed steal, and that was a good play. He shuffled off and broke late, and he's stealing it off of the middle infielders not moving, and now the Tides have to pull their infield in.
Infield in, so Bruhan quite a ways off of second base, and Franco drives one high and deep to right field. Back to the wall, and it is gone! Wander Franco with a 3-run shot. Makes it 8-2, a 6-run Durham lead.
Franco got a fastball with runners on, and he did not miss it. Down and in, it's where lefties like it. Puts the Bulls up 8-2.
Well, there you have it, the #1 prospect in all of baseball doing damage when called upon. A deep shot into right field, exits the yard, and makes it a big 6-run lead for the Bulls as Lakins sends in a first pitch to Kevin Padlow off the mark. 1-0 now the count. Kicks and delivers another, this time missing low and away. And 2-0 the count to Padlow. I think a guy like Kevin Padlow likes the kind of protection in this lineup. Like, hey, I've got Brujan and Franco hitting in front of me at all times.
Well, technically, if it was protection, it would be behind him.
I mean,
but
right.
He loves having those guys on base because it opens up holes. Absolutely. As a hitter, how could you not like that? Because that speed wreaks havoc. We saw it in the first inning when they're on first and third. They're stealing home. There are all kinds of movements happening on the infield. Infielders hate it, but as a hitter, you love it because now you've got plenty of places to hit the ball through. As Kenny Steenstra comes out to talk to Travis Lakins to make sure that he is settled back down after the 3-run home run by Wander Franco.
Right. So I would imagine that's all that was, as Lakins kicks and fires to Padlow. Another miss, this time outside as Padlow lunged toward it, prepared to swing if necessary. And the count 3-0. Fastball finding the strike zone that time to make it 3-1. As Lakins tries to battle back against Padlow. Fastball fouled back out of play, 90 miles per hour. Padlow was on top of it, sent it straight backwards, and we'll get another here with a full count. Yeah, so by that logic, Padlow, this one's a little bit, you're not reaping the benefits when Franco homers as he watches the breaking ball low and outside, ball 4, and Padlow reaches base to put one on following the Franco bomb.
Yeah, Franco cleaned the plate before you got a chance to eat some dinner.
Padlow reaches for the second time tonight. It brings up Josh Lowe, who has bounced back admirably from a night ago. 5 strikeouts in the 6-5 loss yesterday. He's reached twice, including a double and a walk. First pitch, fastball from Lakins, taken for a 1-0 count. Lakins set, has a quick look at Padlow, goes to the plate, and it's taken for strike 1. Padlow a moderate lead as Lakins goes to the plate, misses outside. Good take, and the count goes to 2-1 for Josh Lowe.
6 hits, 6 runs, all earned, 2 walks, 1 strikeout.
Lakins again goes to the plate. Lowe smacks it high into the air out in left field. Jan striding toward the foul line, gets underneath it and reels it in for the grab and out number 2. Now Davy Gruyan, the batter. A strikeout his last time up, but singled in the first. He's 1 for 2. Four home runs, 12 driven in on the season. As the first pitch, a fastball missing low and away, 1-0. Wyatt Matheson moves to the on-deck circle. He homered his last time up. Lakins set. Quick check over his left shoulder. Hurls in 91 miles per hour, taken for a strike against Gruyan. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball, floated over the plate, drilled out to left field, but Jan didn't have far to go to squeeze it for the catch, and out number 3, a Wander bomb. Drives in 3 and makes it 8-2 Bulls as we move to the 5th inning. Re-enters. He faced one batter. It was Mason McCoy. Struck out the leadoff man for the Tides and will now, in this frame, face the second, third, and fourth batters at least in the Tide's order, beginning with Malkeen Canelo. Bulls ahead 8-2, 6-run lead following a 3-run home run by the number 1 prospect in all of affiliated baseball, Wander Franco, in the last side. Mazza working from the stretch, just as Dietrich Enns did, even though there are no runners on. Kicks and sends in a fastball missing for ball 1 to Malkeen Canelo. Mazza with a slight wobble as he comes set, deals off-speed pitch, swung at and missed. 1-1 now. The count is even against Canelo, who is 0 for 2 today, with a strikeout his last time up. That one was courtesy of the Bulls starter, Dietrich Enns. Hard breaking ball, taken for strike 2 as the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes against Canelo. Chance Sisco awaits in the on-deck circle with no official at bat so far today. He's walked twice in 2 plate appearances. The 1-2 from Mazza drifts and bounces just behind the home plate, where it's dug up by Odom, taken for ball 2, and the count now level, 2-2. Mazza hesitates, kicks, fires. That one contacted over to Franco at shortstop. He runs up on it, throws off of one leg, and gets it to first in plenty of time to retire Canelo. Good bounce back from the error an inning ago by Franco at short. A 3-run home run will go a long way in rejuvenating some confidence, but something tells me Franco doesn't need me to tell him that, or anyone else. So Chance Sisco now the batter, and the shift is on. Padlow, the second baseman for the Bulls, out into shallow right field. Wander Franco, the shortstop, on the right side of the bag at second, as Sisco digs into the left-handed batter's box. Mazza kicks, delivers 85 miles per hour up and away, taken for ball 1. Tristan Gray now getting in on the shift, moving closer towards second base as Mazza hurls in the same pitch, but this time just catches the outer black. No swing, and it's 1-1. Brett Cumberland, the designated hitter in the on-deck circle, awaits for the Tides as that fastball is skied out to shallow left field. Bruhan camping out underneath it, reels it in to the left of his body with 2 hands to retire the batter, Sisco, and up comes Cumberland with 2 away and nobody on. So a couple of quick outs for Chris Mazza. 7 pitches in, 2 away, and no batters have reached. He faces his 4th batter of the evening. It's the 4th in the lineup. The switch-hitting Cumberland, who digs in to hit lefty this time around, watches the fastball on the outer half of the plate. Cross for strike 1 taken. Tyler Nevin moves into the on-deck circle. Mazza moves the glove from his chin to meet the ball in his throwing hand at his midsection as he comes set and deals the off speed, which is off the mark, high and outside. 1-1. Mazza with 1 ball, 1 strike. Fastball up and outside, not far by either measure, but enough for home plate umpire Cody Oakes to deem it outside of the strike zone, and the count goes to 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's Mazza again, this time missing low and in. 3-1. Some quick work so far by the NAIA college product, Chris Mazza. Sends in the 3-1, and the breaking ball drifts across, but not over the plate. Low and inside Cumberland watches ball 4, tosses the bat aside, and trots over to first base to be the first base runner against Mazza in this outing. So a runner at first, 2 away, and Tyler Nevin, the batter for the Tides, made his major league debut over the weekend for the Orioles, got a base hit, and is back down here for the Tides as that fastball misses outside for Mazza, 1-0. The 4th walk of the day for the Tides, forced by Cumberland there. Swung on the fastball. Lazy line drive falls in front of Bruhan in left field, and it's a base knock for Tyler Nevin, his 2nd hit of the night, and 2 aboard for the Tides with 2 away here in the top of the 5th inning. So now Seth Mejias-Breen, the batter. Couple of home runs on the season. He's driven in 11. And he digs in to the right-handed batter's box. Wide stance, waves the bat out in front of him, slowly brings it back behind his head. Mazza set. First pitch swung on and missed. 85 miles per hour, a little bit of deception on that outer half of the plate. And an 0-1 count to Mejias-Breen, who is 0 for 2 so far tonight. A ground ball to Wander Franco at shortstop and a fly ball to right. A check of the runners. Mazza deals in. That one skied up into the air into foul ground, first base side, and out of play as it bounces off of the Durham Bulls dugout. Unreachable for Wyatt Matheson, who was given it chase. Had a good beat on it, apparently. But for Mejias-Breen, he heads back to home plate, retrieves his bat, and will look to hit with 2 strikes. 0-2. 2 away, runners at first and second. Mazza comes set for the Bulls. Goes to the plate. Hard breaker, misses high. And Mejias-Breen lays off for a 1-2 count. Mazza, a product I mentioned at the NAIA level of Menlo in Atherton, California. He played there for 3 years. As the breaking ball forces a swing and a miss, Mejias-Breen goes down hacking for the 3rd and final out. The Tide strand 2 and get none in the top of the 5th inning. Bottom of the frame coming, 8-2 Bulls. As the evening begins to settle in here in Durham at Durham Bulls Athletic Park, Darren Vaught, Scott Pose has scurried away. He'll be back at some point. He's got to politic a little bit out in the stands of Durham Bulls Athletic Park. Nice to see so many faces and people around the concourse and in the seats here in front of our vantage point from the radio booth, as full capacity allowed at this point here at the DBAP. And a new pitcher for the Norfolk Tides. How about this for a throwback? 2010 44th round pick to the Tampa Bay Rays, Mickey Janis, the knuckleballer, sends in the first pitch that misses high. Good thing, because Scott, to pull back the curtain a little bit here, as the count is 1-0 to Wyatt Matheson, who homered his last time up. The knuckleball misses low and away for a 2-0 count there out of the hand of Janis. To pull back the curtain a little bit, Scott Pose, my broadcast partner, does a lot of the helping me out, identify what pitches are what sometimes. This makes it easy. Janis is going to throw a knuckleball. Here he is at 2-1, or 2-0. Tries a fastball that time, so I spoke too soon, but misses low. 3-0 the count to Matheson, who had a 2-run home run his last time up back in the 3rd. There's Janis with the fastball, catches the inner black. Matheson takes, and the count goes to 3-1. Mickey Janis winds. There's another fastball, finds the strike zone. So he got behind via the knuckleball, has worked his way back to a full count. And we'll see if he sends in one of those dancing pitches here. 3-2, Janis, the pitch, it's a fastball, and Matheson absolutely blasts that one to the gap in left center. It's off of the monster, bouncing down into center field, and he's got a stand-up double. Matheson has drilled the baseball so far today. It's his second extra base hit as he follow-ups a 2-run home run with a stand-up double to lead things off for the Bulls here in the fifth. A towering blast off the bat of Matheson that would have exited the yard in a lot of other ballparks. But in left field, of course, we have what we refer to as the monster. Makes its way an awfully far way into left center. Keeps Matheson at a double, but it puts a runner in scoring position as the first pitch to Ryan Bolt is a called strike. Bolt 0 for 2 today. A fly ball to left his last time up. Janis working from the stretch, comes set, checks at second, goes to the plate, and misses high with the fastball. So a 1-1 count to Ryan Bolt. Tristan Gray in the on-deck circle, also due up this side, and we'll likely see Joseph Odom in the 9-hole with that leadoff double. Off-speed pitch, a big swing and a miss by Bolt, makes it 1-2. Action in the Durham bullpen as Mickey Janis comes set. Another check at second. There's an off-speed pitch, fouled back into the net. As Bolt stays alive at 1-2. So Janis started off with the knuckleball, maybe not feeling it. Has not really resorted to it a lot so far in this outing. He's set, goes to the plate. That one drilled down the line and foul. The left-handed batter, Bolt, pulled it. One ball, 2 strikes. The count remains to Ryan Bolt. 3 home runs, 19 RBIs on the season. High in the zone, he drills that one, a line drive out to left center. Jan muffs it, and it gets behind him, and that will allow the run to score as Matheson comes across easily on the Bolt RBI single. Another run for the Bulls, another hit, and they now lead it 9-2 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And after a couple of consecutive losses, perhaps the most prolific offense in all of AAA baseball has come back to life. Tristan Gray squares in. Another lefty here to face Janis. Fastball, that one another line shot right to the second baseman, caught, and the throw back to first is in time. A quick double play as executed, starting with the line out to Ramon Urias, who was playing a little bit closer to first via the shift. Didn't need a lot of time because the throw was so close, but he didn't have a lot of time to get behind the lead runner in Ryan Bolt and tag him up, but he does, getting the throw to Tyler Nevin and clearing the base paths for pitcher Mickey Janis. First pitch offered to Joseph Odom. In the hole, it's short. Backhanded grab, and the jump throw executed marvelously by Mason McCoy in time to get the batter Odom and retire the side. A quick 3 outs after a run surrendered by the Tides moves us into the 6th inning with the Bulls ahead 9-2. If you're searching for a better living experience, look no further than Cortland. With 8 apartment communities in Raleigh, Durham, they're in more locations than a well-thrown knuckleball. Speaking of Mickey Janis on the bump for the Norfolk Tides. Cortland, next level apartment living, official sponsor of Durham Bulls baseball. It'll be a new pitcher, David Hess, for the Bulls. So just as the Tides sent up a former Rays draft pick in Mickey Janis, the Bulls trot out a former Orioles draft pick in David Hess as the righty heaves in a first pitch fastball just off the outer black of the plate. Check swing. Says that he did not go as Zach Jarrett leads things off for the Tides here in the top of the 6th inning. Hess with another pitch down in the dirt this time. 2-0 the count. As Jarrett 0 for 2 so far today. A hard line drive to second base that went for an out. And then he reached on a fielder's choice on a ground ball to shortstop as that one ducks below the strike zone. Swung on and missed by Jarrett. 2-1 now the count. Well, Scott Pose is back. Good politicking out there?
A little bit, but looked like the Bulls didn't miss a beat.
No, not at all. Got a run in the bottom of the 5th inning. That one on the outer part of the plate. And sent that way by Jarrett, but foul for strike 2.
Saw a heck of a play by McCoy close up, too. That was a fine play.
Yeah,
deep short.
the Derek Jeter jump throw over at shortstop. Well executed for the 3rd and final out after the quick reaction over at second base and first for the double play prior to that. Hess with the 2-2. Catches the outer black, called strike 3. That's the first strikeout looking we've seen for either side tonight as Jarrett goes down for the backwards K. And it puts one away in the top of the 6th inning.
Well placed fastball. Very well done by Mr. Hess.
Hess from the windup sends in the first pitch to Ramon Urias. And it misses low and outside. So Urias, who was 0 for 1, walked his last time up with a 1-0 count. Hess winds, kicks, and deals. That time the fastball finds the strike zone. No swing. And it's called at the knees to make it 1-1. One right down the middle of the plate, fouled away. 1 ball, 2 strikes as Urias sends it out of play with 1 away and nobody on. Well, you've been out on the premises. This place filled up in a hurry.
Sure did.
Off-speed pitch from Hess, waving at it as Urias swing and a miss, strike 3. That's 2 gone quickly for Hess on the hill for the Bulls.
Hess with a tight slider here that gets Urias fishing for it, cannot make contact.
And now up comes the 9-hole batter in Willie Yan. Hess quickly gets into his windup. First pitch fastball, fouled opposite side on the ground. Yan 0 for 2, a ground ball to third, and reached on that ball up the middle that was muffed by Wander Franco at shortstop. Breaking ball cut on and missed, and a quick 0-2. Hess looks good.
Yeah, he's settling in for sure.
Pants hiked up so you can see the high socks. Sends in the 0-2. There it is again, the breaking ball at the bottom of the zone that dipped right below it, forcing another wave and another empty at bat for Willie Yan as he strikes out the side in the top of the 6th inning. Bulls up, bottom of the frame next. least a run on the board in each of their last 3 frames offensively, and they've only got 1 goose egg up through 5 innings of offense so far tonight. And Mickey Janis, the knuckleballer on the mound for the Tides, gets to face the top of the Bulls order. Vidal Brujan will begin things. 2 for 3 so far tonight. And the first pitch sails high up and in as Brujan has to jerk his head out of its direction. 1-0. Single, stolen base, and a run scored his last time up. Janis's pitch floats inside on Brujan. He turns his body out of the way, and it's 2-0.
Brujan, interestingly enough, electing to hit right-handed, the switch hitter, against the right-handed pitcher.
That's a good catch, Scott. Janis misses high and away with the knuckler that time, and it's 3-0.
And that's why. It's a knuckleball. And so the switch hitter will pick the... Doesn't make any difference. You don't have to be quick to hit the knuckleball. You just have to be quick with your hands. And you're not worried about release point. You know where it's coming from. It's just trying to track down that butterfly pitch that dances around and difficult to deal with.
Well, Janis struggled with it in the last frame as he goes to the fastball there and misses low at 87 miles per hour. 4 pitches, 4 balls, and Brujan, the leadoff man, reaches for the Bulls.
Well, you're in that gray area here. You're up 7. It's in the 6th. Not likely that Brujan will be running. Should he do something like that, we will see the unwritten rules of baseball likely enforced at some point.
We've already accomplished one bucket list item in baseball terms so far tonight. We found the player to be named.
That's
later.
right. That's
so
right.
If we can write some unwritten rules, maybe we'll do that. First pitch to Wander Franco, a line drive, base hit out into left, and he follows up a 4-hit night last night with his 3rd hit already in this one here in the bottom of the 6th inning, following up his 3-run home run the time up prior to that. It puts runners on at first and second with no one away. And Kevin Padlow, the batter now.
Oh, he's looking very comfortable at the plate is Wander Franco. The numbers don't lie, but he's swinging freely, and that ball was hit on a line as well.
Padlow 1 for 2 so far today. RBI single back in the first. Watches the off-speed pitch for strike 1 called. Padlow walked on a full count his last time up. Janis set a lot of attention to the runners Brujan and Franco. To the left side of the third baseman, play made at second base, so Franco retired. Brujan advances to third, and on the throw into the dugout, Brujan will come across to score the 10th Bulls run, and Padlow will advance to second after running out the double play.
It goes a fielder's choice and an error on the second baseman, Urias, to allow the runners to advance. 6-4, the put out on Wander Franco. But with Padlow bearing down on, or Franco bearing down on Urias, he uncorks a throw that goes into the dugout. Brujan is awarded home.
Runner at second to base now for Josh Lowe, who watches the first pitch. Low and inside, 1-0.
Well, the order for Janis right here is very simple. Just eat some innings. There's no activity in the Tides bullpen. This is the second of 6 games here at the DBAP.
It's a sharp breaking ball that ducks and bounces across the plate, taken for a 2-0 count.
But Kenny Steenstra and manager Gary Kendall of the Tides are going to ask Janis to save some bullpen arms.
Janis set. Again, bounces one over top of the plate. Lowe not fooled and leaves it there for ball 3. And that, of course, Scott, perhaps a product of the 6-game series, and maybe one begets the other. I think pitching staffs are just being forced to be a lot deeper and cognizant of things like this. You're down 8. Even early in a game, you sort of reconsider the way you map things out as a fastball crosses the plate for a strike.
Well, you've got expanded rosters, and the rosters are always going to be tilted towards pitching because they can't play every day. They can't throw every day. And so you've got to space that workload out. But in a situation like this, there's no sense in burning arms when you don't need to.
Janis set a full count pitch to Lowe, drilled, a line drive, drops in center field. It'll be a base knock for Lowe as Padlow holds up at third. They're at the corners now for the Bulls. And Lowe has his second hit of the evening. He's reached 3 out of 4 times at the plate.
Sometimes it just takes the one to get it going, and he did. He got that one in the first inning where it hit right on the line. And after I went on my soliloquy about saving arms, the Norfolk Tide's bullpen is stirring. But Lowe then gets right back into the groove. Gets his second hit. Nice solid hit up the middle. That'll do wonders for your confidence.
And now the designated hitter, Davy Gruyan, who's 0 for 3, would like one of those knocks himself to keep from an 0 for on the night. First pitch from Janis missing high. So a 1-0 count to Gruyan, who's got 4 home runs on the season. With that sub 200 batting average at 179. Pitch pulled toward the Tide's dugout and fouled for a 1-1. One away, runners at first and third. The ever hot Wyatt Matheson in the on deck circle, should he be needed. Janis with the 1-1. Swung on. Gruyan sends that high up into the air into right center field. And drifting over is Zach Jarrett to make the grab. It will knock in Padlow on the sacrifice fly, making it a 10-run ball game. So now with 2 away, Matheson comes up, having homered and doubled in his last 2 appearances respectively. And even that double, Scott, off the top of the monster in left center, about as center as left center can get, would have exited the yard in a lot of other ballparks as he watches the first pitch for strike 1.
I thought that ball was gone as soon as he hit it. It had that sound, and you could feel it from down where I was sitting at the time. And that tells you more than anything. And that ball had some carry to it. Matheson seeing it well, as many of the Bulls hitters are.
Offers early at the pitch from Janis there, 80 miles per hour. So Matheson with a quick 0-2 against him with 2 away. Runner at first base in low. Janis's pitch, 80 miles per hour, lifted well into the air into shallow right, and a sliding grab made by Seth Mejia-Spreen. That is out number 3 and will retire the side. But the Bulls continue to tack on runs. 3 more there in the 6th as we move to number 7 as it's 12-2. Had some questionable weather in the forecast, Scott, but it appears we have escaped a problematic evening.
Well, we have an official ball game. It's gone the requisite 5.5 innings. The Bulls are up 10. Now, in my get off my lawn moment of the night, I will talk about the 10-run rule. Makes more sense in the minor leagues than the extra inning rule of putting the runner on second base, which I despise.
Sure. No, I don't blame you at all for that. First pitch fastball to Mason McCoy taken in an 0-1 count. 1 for 3 on the night. Waves at the off-speed pitch way ahead of it. And quickly 0-2 against Mason McCoy.
So it's official. Get off my lawn.
We're going to get that sponsored. We got to get Patrick on that. A lawn care company has with the 0-2. Taken awfully close on the outer part of the strike zone. But ball 1. Hess kicks quickly, delivers the 1-2, and it's well outside. Odom doesn't dare leave his knees for it, and it goes back into the backstop. But, you know, no runners on. Why should he? 2-2. McCoy certainly a fine player for the Tides. As much as these athletes are in a very competitive family, as he takes that fastball and fouls it out of play over toward the Bulls bullpen to keep his count of 2-2. His younger sister, Maddie McCoy, just finished up a redshirt senior season as a softball player at Bowling Green State University.
Oh, wow.
Where she is now the program's career slugging percentage leader and leader in multi-home run games for a career.
That's getting it done.
That is, yes, to put it simply, it is getting it done. Fastball misses low and away. And McCoy now with a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Hess winds. And the fastball fouled to the right and in the air out of play. 94 miles per hour on the stadium radar for Hess there. Hess is 3-2, again fouled back into the backstop by McCoy. Adjusted and fought off the breaking ball to hang in there at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's pitch number 9 to Mason McCoy here in the top of the 7th inning. Hess hurls the fastball lined out to right field. And gliding underneath to make the grab is Ryan Bolt for out number 1. So no harm done on a hard hit ball.
That's Hess not giving in. He kept coming after McCoy with that fastball. McCoy squared it up, but based on the foul balls, Bolt was able to track that down pretty easily. When a hitter shows a tendency that they're a little bit behind or they may be going to right field, that made Bolt's job that much easier, and he was in the right position.
First pitch fastball off the mark, low and outside, but 95 on the gun for Hess, who was really heating up, coming into his own after already having struck out the side his first inning out. Malquin Canelo sends the second pitch way up into the air in the Durham night. And a little bit of miscommunication there. But the catch made, and yeah, so Wander Franco, who did not make the catch, a little bit of yapping for Kevin Padlow.
Saying, you're on my side of second base. It's my ball. He's pointing to second base, saying, look where we are. Shortstop's got everything on this side of second base.
Now, I will say, Scott, with 2 away and nobody on here, as Chance Sisco steps into the left-handed batter's box, having walked twice tonight, you'd rather have that, 2 guys trying to make the catch,
sure,
than that early pop-up within the infield that the Bulls had last night, in which it was a you got it situation.
Yeah. Very, very nice problem to have. As long as they're not running into each other full speed, you'll take it.
Chance Sisco watches a couple, and now the count 1-1 on him. Down from major league assignment with the Orioles, where he was struggling mightily as a hitter. Fouls away the fastball back into the net to the left side, and his count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 walks in his first 2 plate appearances and a fly ball to left his last time up in the 5th. The righty Hess winds, hurls, and puts it in the dirt as Odom stops it, gives a quick point Hess's way. And gets a new baseball from home plate umpire Cody Oakes as the count is 2-2.
It's exactly where Odom wanted it. With up in the count 1-2, he wanted to see if they could get Sisco fishing for that pitch in the dirt.
2-2, 2 away, nobody on. The fastball just off the mark as deemed by Oakes behind the dish. And the count goes full. Hess has seen 5 batters so far, retired all 5. Here's the 6th with a full count pitch. Called strike 3 on the fastball, his 4th K of his rather short outing, and it retires the side in the top of the 7th. Let's stretch here in Durham. Bulls ahead by a lot. He was acquired by the Orioles in a trade with the Yankees back in 2018. And he will face the 7, 8, 9 batters in the Bulls lineup, beginning with Ryan Bolt, who is 1 for 3. And one of 7 Bulls batters with at least a hit tonight. Tristan Gray in the on-deck circle is one of those with a 0 so far at 0 for 2. As the fastball forces Bolt to shuffle out of the way inside, 1-0. Bolt swings and bounces it off of the plate and to the right of the field of play. Dribbles not quite to the Bulls dugout. And the foul ball makes for 1-1. RBI single last time up for Bolt, as he widens his stance in the left-handed batter's box and watches a fastball sell well above the strike zone. 2-1. Carroll heaves in at 93 miles per hour, forces a swing and a miss by Bolt. And an even count now, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bit of a shift on for Bolt. Breaking ball drilled into the netting along the right side of the stadium here. And the foul ball keeps it at 2-2. The tall right-hander Carroll comes set, offers another fastball, that time 94, misses high and outside. 3-2, a full count to Ryan Bolt. Rather minimal movements from the stretch as Carroll bounces it about 10 feet in front of the plate with a full count. Ball 4, and Ryan Bolt begins things with a walk for the Bulls. So now comes the third baseman, Tristan Gray, who is hitless tonight, 0 for 2, but he has reached via a walk back in the 4th, and he came around to score one of the Bulls' 11 runs on the night. Gray first pitch swinging at the fastball, fouls it back and in the air out of play. Pulled an absolute screamer of a line drive to Ramon Urias at second base his last time up that led ultimately to a double play, with getting a runner tagging up at first. 0-1. Another heater just off the mark, and an even count, 1-1. Carroll again with the fastball this time. Hurls it in there, and Gray watches as it's right down the middle, 1-2. Carroll kicks, working quickly, bounces another in front of the plate. But the runner Bolt stays put at first. Cisco behind the dish with a good job keeping it in front of him there. Chasing it down a short way into the left-handed batter's box, where Gray had to move out of the way. So now 2-2. And Carroll misses inside.
Yeah, Cody Carroll having trouble locating his pitches. Full counts to both. He lost Bolt and now is in danger of losing Gray as well.
A lot of fastballs for Carroll as well so far. And again, he's humming right around in that mid-90s range according to the stadium gun. But if you can't locate it, it's not going to do you a lot of good as he sends that one outside that time. The fastball taken by Gray. And it's a couple of walks, couple of runners on for the Bulls here in the bottom of the 7th. So now comes Joseph Odom. Odom hitting .244 on the year. Couple of home runs. He's a Division III product. As he watches the fastball outside for ball one, and Cisco's going to trot out for a little powwow with Carroll.
They're trying to get Carroll back to setting his sights on the plate. But he does not have that release point down yet, and so his catcher acting like the coach on the field. Going out trying to calm him down and get him situated.
Odom 1 for 3. He was the one that grounded out to short on that great play by Mason McCoy that you were away for, although you were closer than I was, I think.
That was a heck of a play.
With the jump throw as the first pitch to Odom misses. Again, the fastball. First pitch following the visit, that is. So 2-0 to Odom. Carroll grooves one in, called strike. Odom with a look back at home plate umpire Cody Oakes. Slight jerk of his head, perhaps a smile. A smirk, we'll call it. And the count to 2-1. Carroll set, runners at first and second. Odom lifts that when he went down to get it at the bottom of the strike zone. It's high and deep into left center field and right back at the wall. The grab is made by Zach Jarrett. Nearly his third home run of the season for Joseph Odom, but it's a really, really long out with 2 on.
Well, you said it. He went down to get it, and he does. It's a low pitch, but generates a lot of lift. That ball had that sound, but to the deepest part of the park, Jarrett reels it in. Now the order turns over.
So back to the leadoff man, Vidal Brujan, who's had himself quite a day. 2 for 3. He's reached 3 times. Come around to score all 3. The righty Carroll to the left-handed hitting Brujan as he goes back over to that side for this righty. For the knuckleballer Janis, Brujan decided to hit right-handed. Watches the fastball for strike 1. Breaking ball drops into the dirt. No swing from Brujan. 1-1. 1 away, runners at first and second here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Brujan walked on 4 pitches his last time up. Carroll again, the heater, and again up and in. Out of the strike zone, 2-1. th pitch of the evening for Carroll oncoming. That one caught the outer edge. Really trying to get on top of that fastball. Hasn't quite been able to do so far. More like that would help his cause. Here's the 2-2 to Brujan. Breaking ball waved at. He fouls it and fights it off, sending it backwards and out of play. Carroll with the luxury of a force at every bag and the double play intact. The 2-2 again to Brujan. Skips over top of the plate. Brujan hunches down and watches it carefully as he takes for ball 3.
It's a good take. It's a little easier when the pitcher doesn't have the release point down and you're not really worried about the fastball. You're just honed in on something in the zone, and I think that's what led to Brujan taking that nasty breaking pitch in the dirt.
Open stance for Brujan. Carroll set the full count pitch, a fastball, catches the outer black. That was just on the bottom portion of the strike zone as well, but it's called strike 3, and Bruhan goes down for out number 2.
That was a good pitch. Bulls fans aren't going to like that, but that was at the knees and well placed.
So finally, Carroll paints one. And no better time. That was a big spot to put 2 outs with a couple of runners on, but now you got to face the most dangerous hitter in all of minor league baseball, perhaps, in Wander Franco, who watches the first pitch fastball for strike 1. Franco is on fire, to say the least. 7 of his last 9. Watches one high, off-speed pitch. Sort of glided and rose above the strike zone as Franco went through his approach. But he held back, brings the count to 1-1. Carroll sails a fastball on top of the strike zone there. 2 balls, 1 strike as Franco leaves it high.
The all-important hitters count 2-1. You're sitting fastball, middle in, 9 times out of 10.
His 3-run home run earlier in the night was on a full count. There he is hacking at the 2-1. It was a fastball, and he sends it foul to the left side, out of play.
That's what velocity does for you. It allows you to make some mistakes out over the plate. That one was, but it was 95 miles an hour or better.
Franco settles back in. Count remains 2-2. Pitch number 6 from Carroll on the way as soon as he comes set and goes to the plate. Taking his time, receiving signs from Cisco. And here it is. That one drilled up the middle, a skip off of the mound and pulled in at shortstop by Mason McCoy. He makes the easy play himself at second, and that retires the side as Franco unable to bring more runs in. Bulls 11, Tides 2. Let's go to the 8th inning on the other side. Proud 2021 sponsors of the Durham Bulls, the Wooten Company has been trusted in our communities since 1936. From clean drinking water to modern schools and high-tech workspaces, Wooten takes pride in delivering thoughtful projects. Wooten's engineering solutions are their tradition of designing the future. Brett Cumberland, the batter here in the top of the 8th inning to lead things off for the Norfolk Tides. He'll be followed up by Tyler Nevin, who is in the on-deck circle. And Cumberland watches a first pitch fastball miss the strike zone for a 1-0 count as David Hess continues on in his 3rd inning of work for the Durham Bulls. Needs that one, a fastball up in the zone, and it's pulled foul by Cumberland, so his count goes to 1-1. The switch hitting DH, 0 for 2, a couple of strikeouts and a walk so far this evening. Hess, the former Oriole at the big league level, winds and sends in the 1-1. That's skied over to the left side of the infield. Franco calls off his 3rd baseman, Gray, and squeezes it for the out. That is the least complicated infield pop-up we've seen so far in these 2 games at the DBAP as Franco squeezes it for out number 1.
There was no extra traffic, that's for sure. He was able to camp under that easily and make the play.
So 1 away now as Tyler Nevin, who is 2 for 2, digs into the right-handed batter's box to face the righty Hess and immediately fouls back a fastball at 93 miles per hour. And his count goes to 0-1. So Hess has faced 7 batters and retired all of them, striking out 4. 0-1, top of the strike zone, swung on and missed. That is an enticing pitch for Tyler Nevin, but he can't get a hold of it. His count goes to 0-2. Hess winds, hums one high of the zone. 1-2 the count as Nevin takes. Hess with Baltimore saw big league time in 2018, 2019, and 2020 as he drops one low and outside of the strike zone, though that was awfully close. Nevin takes, and the count goes to 2-2. As a 24-year-old in 2018. Has through 103 1/3 innings. Nevin takes the fastball deep to right field, drifting back into the corner just shy of the warning track. It's reeled in by Ryan Bolt for a long out number 2. Since making his big league debut in 2018 with the Orioles, has saw innings diminish. 80 innings in 2019, and then of course the truncated season in 2020 left it short, but it's 7 innings pitched as that first pitch to Seth Mejias-Breen is skied out to right center field and reeled in for an easy fly ball caught by Josh Lowe. He tosses it into the stands, and that retires the side. Another 3 up, 3 down for Hess as we move to the bottom of the 8th. Bulls up 9. Partner of minor league baseball and is a partner to Emerge Ortho, the official team physicians to the Durham Bulls. Welcome back to Durham Bulls Athletic Park. Darren Vaught, Scott Post, Brian Bliss producing back in the studio as the Bulls lead it by 9. 11-2 is the score, and a new pitcher takes the hill for the Tides as it will be Manny Barreda, the 32-year-old out of Sahuarita, Arizona, acquired as a minor league free agent in early March. And the stocky right-hander sends in his last warm-up throw. A toss down to second, and he will face the heart of the order for the Durham Bulls, beginning with Kevin Padlow batting third in the lineup, 1 for 3 so far this evening. Josh Lowe, Davey Gruyan also due up this side. The Bulls bats have reawakened, and Padlow knows it. Big cut at the first pitch fastball up in the zone, missing to make it 0-1.
We have Manny Barreda pitching now for those scoring at home, and Austin Wins has entered in right field for the Tides.
As that one fouled back by Padlow, so Wins enters in right in place of Seth Mejias-Breen. Barreda with an 0-2 count to Kevin Padlow. Bounces one in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes now.
Encarnacion is the one who is in right field. We have misnumbered rosters or something going on.
There's Barreda pitches another one low. It makes it 2-2. I was going to say, because if I'm not mistaken, Austin Wins has been called up to the Orioles.
Well, it would be awfully hard for him to be hitting here in Durham if he's with Baltimore.
So J.C. Encarnacion is the new fielder out in right as that one sent skyward to the right side of shallow right. Nevin comes out from first to camp out under it and make the grab one-handed for out number 1. That retires the batter Padlow. Well, first we had a player without a number, which we then learned was a real person. That was Travis Lakins Sr., the pitcher, as Josh Lowe watches a first pitch off speed right down Broadway, 0-1.
It's as if the Tides came to the park today and said, let's have some fun with the announcers tonight. Everybody switch jerseys.
Swing and a miss by Lowe at 84 miles per hour with just a little bit of a holdup at the end of that pitch. Nicely thrown by Barreda and makes it 0-2. Lifts high above his head, winds and delivers. Lowe sends that to the opposite field in left center field. And it's reeled in by Willie Yon for out number 2. How much of this is picking on the new guy? This is my first game in for Patrick Keenis.
It's an excellent point. Didn't think of that.
Who else knows about that? That's what I'm wondering.
So you're alleging a conspiracy, are you?
No, I didn't say that, Scott. Davy Grullon's first pitch from Manny Beretta misses high and outside. He watches 1-0 the count. The designated hitter 0 for 3 today. One of only 2 Bulls batters without a hit so far. Big cut and waves and misses at 93 miles per hour to make it 1-1. I don't know if conspiracy is the word, but pitch taken there, off speed for strike number 2 against Davy Grullon. I mean, I would be okay with some light hazing in that regard.
Baseball lends itself to practical jokes now and then.
Yeah.
That would be a pretty good one.
I think so. It would just be nice to know if it was actually happening that way. Foul ball by Grullon back into the net. He retains his count, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Not to my knowledge.
All right, that's good. You're about the only one I can trust around here. Another 1-2. Low and outside, Grullon hacks and misses. That's strike 3 and retires the side in the 8th. Norfolk needs 9 runs in the top of the 9th inning to keep this thing going on the other side here in Durham. Top of the 9th inning, the Tides need 9 to tie the Durham Bulls. 11-2 our score. Darren Vaught, Scott Pose with you here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. The Bulls looking to bounce back from a 6-5 loss an evening ago here in Game 2 of 6 in this series with Norfolk. As the first pitch sent in to Zach Jarrett, the 7th batter in the lineup, fouled back into the net. So an 0-1 count as the 7, 8, 9 batters, the last hope for Norfolk in this one. Breaking ball misses low and outside as Brian Moran in to finish this thing up for the Bulls. Sends in the 1-1 up in the zone, and Jarrett fights it off foul to make it a 1-2 count. Moran, the former North Carolina Tar Heel at nearby UNC in Chapel Hill.
And congratulations to them for being selected to an NCAA regional, as was NC State, and Duke for winning their conference tournament.
As the 9 seed in the ACC tournament. They are on some kind of roll, the Blue Devils. That one fouled back into the net.
The last weekend in May was kind to the Triangle area baseball schools.
Very much so. Moran, another one fouled back into the net as Jarrett continues to fight.
All that excitement starts tomorrow, I believe.
That is the case. The regionals getting underway tomorrow, so I'm sure I'll have those up on one screen and we can check in on those as we broadcast here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park for another one tomorrow evening. Moran again with 2 strikes, forces a check swing, not needed, called strike 3 from Cody Oakes behind the plate, and it's a backwards K to get things started in the 9th for Brian Moran.
Well, it's that downward throwing motion with that release point that's the near submarine style that can really throw off a hitter. And this one, well placed. 1 out in the 9th.
Ramon Urias settles in, the righty against the lanky lefty Moran. Dials up 84 miles per hour, taken for strike 1. Urias 0 for 2, a strikeout his last time up. That was against David Hess, who had a fine 3 innings of work. As Urias fouls that one away and goes to 0-2. David Hess, 3 innings pitched. He faced 9 batters, retired all of them, and struck out 4, including his first 3 that he faced prior to handing the baseball to Brian Moran here, who so far so good for the Bulls in the top of the 9th inning. Kicks and deals high of the strike zone, so a 1-2 count to Urias. Moran has certainly stuck it out in the pros as he unwinds and misses low and outside for a 2-2 count there. Sends in a fastball this time, and it's off the mark outside again. Full count to Urias. Moran, you know, he was a walk-on at North Carolina. And their former coach, Mike Fox, once told me that the first fall that Moran was there, as he hurls in with his left, and a swing and a miss offered by Urias, 1 out away from polishing this one off are the Bulls and is Moran. Fox told me his first fall there, his first appearance, he was only throwing 83, 84 miles per hour, and he got shellacked. Fox said he couldn't remember if it was 3 home runs or 4 home runs, but he gave up a huge inning. After the game, he finds him in the locker room, hunched over his locker as the first pitch, a breaking ball low of the zone to Willie Yan, and the count goes 1-0. Fox says he finds Moran hunched over his locker, crying, like actually sobbing. Said, I thought he had gotten a tragic phone call, as that one is belted, but foul, a long drive down the left field line. Yan, not that far off of a solo home run that absolutely was throttled, but instead he'll make his way back to home plate with a 1-1 count. So he's sobbing, and Fox says, well, I go over to him and ask, well, what's wrong? And Moran's like, you're going to cut me, aren't you? That's it. And Fox, he uses that story as a testament to how, again, you know, he's in his 30s and he's stuck out a career in professional baseball, and it's because of that passion.
There is no substitute for drive. Want to, gumption, grit, call it whatever you want, but you can't put a price on that, and that's a lot of what's revealed in this long road to the major leagues and this life that ultimately is the minor leagues. You got to be able to pick yourself up, persevere, believe that you can do it. I call it a willful ignorance. You got to be dumb enough to believe that you can do it. You can't put a price on it.
Meanwhile, Moran misses low with a breaking ball and has one fouled over into the Tides bullpen. So 2 strikes. You hear the rise out of this Durham Bulls crowd. The 2-2 swung on, aired out to right field, gliding underneath to make the grab is Ryan Bolt, and that will do it, polishing off a Bulls victory, and they keep from a losing streak. They had lost 2 in a row entering tonight. Prior to that, it was an 8-game winning streak for Brady Williams' boys, and an 11-2 victory tonight. Scott, your quick thoughts before we kick it back to the studio.
The Bulls got it started early, and it was the speed of Brujan and Franco that got things going, and then the bats warmed up. Matheson had a big night. He hit a home run. Franco, big blow, 3-run home run. It was a good night for the Bulls, and they had enough pitching, but they made the adjustments that they needed to against this tight pitching staff and are rewarded with a win as a result.
We'll wrap things up on the other side. We'll send it back to Brian Bliss in the studio, but for Scott Pose, I'm Darren Vaught saying so long from Durham Bulls Athletic Park. Final score, Bulls 11, Tides 2. We'll see you again tomorrow night. Beautiful. Brian, can you chime in? What do we?